So today I'll be doing a video discussing the true Acnologia and why the history of Acnologia might be something completely different than what we thought all along. Because Acnologia, he's one of the most staple characters in the whole series of Fairy Tail, but what if I was to tell you that his whole character, it might be a lie according to what you think? Now, when we look at Acnologia's character, we obviously know that he was one of the final villains. He's still one of my favorite villains in Fairy Tail to this day, but I wanted to do a video discussing the insights of his character because I truly do believe that he is one of the most misunderstood characters in anime history. Yes, Acnologia is definitely one of the most misunderstood anime characters in Fairy Tail. So today we have to discuss the history and the truth about Acnologia. But the first thing that we have to look at is his plot importance, because we've seen that Acnologia, he was very important from the early on jump from Fairy Tail. We've seen that Gildarts was the first person who introduced him, and the way how Gildarts introduced him was just so hype. We found out about Acnologia through Gildarts losing his arm. We saw that he called Natsu over, and then he told him about the new dragon. Obviously, Natsu, he was searching for Neil at the time, so that added more hype to it, and everything around Acnologia building up was just hype because we knew that Gildarts, he was the strongest person in Fairy Tail. We saw what he did to Natsu as soon as he came back. He just demolished it with ease. But the fact that Acnologia was able to take him out so easily, then make him quit, made a lot of people believe, okay, Acnologia is the real deal. And he is the real deal because let's be honest, Gildarts, he acknowledged how strong Acnologia is, so props to him. But what if I told you that when Gildarts and Acnologia met, they actually met on a whim? Yes, we found out that Gildarts and Acnologia, they were actually both doing the 100-year quest at the same time. That is why they actually ended up meeting at the same time. And obviously, Gildarts, he didn't know as much about the 100-year quest as Acnologia did because Acnologia had already been on the quest. But at the time when Gildarts did accept the quest, Acnologia was already on the quest, and we saw that Gildarts, he got Acnologia mixed up with the other dragons, with the 5 holy dragons that are in the Fairy Tail 100-year quest. So that is the real reason why he ended up attacking Acnologia. But we all knew that Acnologia, he was way too much for Gildarts, hence is why he sent him back with missing organs and with the missing arms. So I definitely do have to say that his importance to the plot was stressed very early on, and I want to say that we know that his motives too was very straightforward too, because they introduced him and they said that he just wanted to kill every single dragon. They were basically saying that he was a dragon killer, and I'm gonna pose this question to you guys. Does this mean that Acnologia was a good guy because he was just trying to do the 100-year quest just so that he could kill every single dragon? And yeah, while the motive is kind of, greedy and kind of a little bit messed up because he just want to kill people, we have to acknowledge the fact that the dragons, they were looked at as evil people back during Acnologia's time. So could he have been looked at as a savior for his people? But when it comes to his strength, I definitely do have to say that this is one of the most controversial topics when discussing Acnologia. That's simply because of the recent events in the Fairy Tail manga. And to be honest, Hiro Mashima, he's been throwing hints at all of us that Acnologia wasn't the strongest, but let's just be honest, nobody picked up on them. I mean, even I didn't pick up on them. If you picked up on the hints way back when Hiro Mashima was, then round of applause to you because you are the real MVP. But no, in all seriousness, we know that Acnologia, he was never really the true king of dragons. Yes, that might be shocking to hear from a lot of people, but Acnologia was never really the true king of dragons because back when Acnologia and Igneo first fought, we saw that they basically went all the way. They went all 9 innings. And I know some of you guys must be thinking, well, it does not mean that Acnologia is strong, but no, we found out that Igneo was nowhere near full power. Yes, Igneo was nowhere near full power. I don't even think they said he was halfway powered up because obviously he had to use majority of the remaining of his life energy to save Natsu so that he could create the dragon seed for him so that Natsu didn't turn into a dragon. So that's why Igneo had to end up using up a lot of his life force. Plus he was already dead at the time too. So yeah, Igneo, he was nowhere near his full power, but in that state, he was still able to rip off Acnologia's arm with a final blow, and he left Acnologia gravely injured. Like, Acnologia, he actually did gain some new respect for Igneo after that battle. So I do have to say that if Igneo was at full power, the battle would have went a completely different way. And I definitely do think that Acnologia would have gotten taken out easily by Igneel, simply because if Igneel did all that damage to him while he was injured, just imagine what Igneel could do to Acnologia at full power. Igneel was known as the King of Dragons. That's why I'm saying that Acnologia, while he was known as the Dragon Killer, I just don't think I could give him the title of the true King of Dragons after figuring out that Igneel wasn't even at full power and seeing what Igneel could do. Yeah, I definitely do have to say that Acnologia, his strength might have been a little bit overhyped. And the reason why I'm saying a little bit overhyped is because we seen in his fight versus Irene, Urza's mother, he actually was able to hold his own. Yes, he was able to hold his own. And me personally, I believe that if that fight would have continued, he would have defeated her with ease, because we saw Irene, she came at him with all these different attacks. She was using high level enchantment. She was even praising his power. She was like, yo, it's shocking that you even surprised that you survived all these attacks. So this just goes to show you that Irene, she was going all out against Acnologia, and yet Acnologia was just eating all those attacks like it was nothing. So I definitely do have to say that this fight, it did boost up his strength, because it showed him that while he might not be the King of Dragons, he still is probably the most strongest human that we've seen so far. Yes, Acnologia is probably still the strongest human that we've seen so far. So the fact that he was able to pretty much just wipe away Irene's attack, the person who's looked at as the strongest woman in the Spiragon 12 army, goes to show you that when he's compared to other humans, he's in a whole nother category. But when he's compared to dragons, his strength isn't that too massive. So I definitely do have to say that Acnologia, he may not have ever been the true King of Dragons, but if there is one thing that his fighting style did show us, is that he really is a sicko. Yes, because we seen at the end of the battle with Irene, he ends up stomping her mercilessly. He's laughing at her like, that's what you get, you stupid dragon, right after she committed suicide too. So Acnologia really does not give a F about anything. So props to him, because it shows how much of a savage he is. But the most important thing about Acnologia, to me personally, is his history, because through the new Fairy Tail spinoff, we've been getting a lot of new hype around Acnologia's character. And the main thing that I'm excited to talk about is Acnologia versus the 5 dragon gods. Yes, it has been stated that Acnologia is pretty much the reason for the Fairy Tail 100-year quest. That is a shocking thing to believe, because we know that the 5 gods that are ordered to be killed in the Fairy Tail 100-year quest, those are the same 5 gods that ran away from Acnologia. Yes, those same 5 gods that are ordered to basically be killed by everybody, they're the same 5 gods that ran away from Acnologia. And they ran away from Acnologia way back in the past, back when they were younger. And we found out that due to their hatred for Acnologia, because obviously Acnologia, he was killing all the dragons back in the day, so the 5 holy pentadrakes, they ended up all leaving the island that Acnologia was on, and they ended up escaping, training, and becoming a lot stronger. So it definitely is safe to say that had it not been for Acnologia's terror, the 100-year quest wouldn't even be here. And that's crazy to think, because that just goes to show you how much of an impact he's had on the plot, whether it's been through action or not through action. Acnologia, he has been one of the biggest plot points for Fairy Tail, and it's also dope hearing that he actually went toe-to-toe with Ignia and the other 4 dragon gods, because obviously they weren't at full power. Ignia, he was stating that they were kids at the time and they were mainly just scared of him. That's the reason why Ignia came back full power, that he wanted to test his strength against Acnologia. But the fact that he basically was able to scare off the son of Igneel along with the other dragon gods, because we still haven't been revealed to the 3 other ones, so I'm pretty sure they're going to be hype, that definitely does add on to his history. And it shows you that if he never scared them away, they would have never gotten stronger and became the 5 dragon gods. So props to Acnologia. And we also see his fuel for dragons. We got to see a little snippet for in the Fairy Tail movie where we seen Sonia, she actually ended up dying off, and that's what made Acnologia pretty much start hating dragons. Yes, some little girl named Sonia was killed right in front of him, and then we seen him end up killing all the dragons that were responsible for it. But Acnologia, I definitely do think that was only like a little tipping tone for his fuel of hatred. I think definitely seeing the little girl die in front of him was one of the biggest things that Acnologia didn't like. But I believe that there was stuff way before that triggered him to actually hate dragons. For example, we know that he wanted to kill every single dragon even after he met Natsu. We know Natsu, he's famous for the talk no jutsu, so I definitely do have to say that Acnologia, he definitely had to have had a traumatic experience to make him want to hate dragons this much. And me personally, I do believe that Acnologia, he was a kind dragon slayer at first. Yes, I do believe that he was a good dragon slayer at first, but due to all the events that he's experienced, because you got to think, Acnologia, he was originally on the side for dragons to live peacefully with humans, but due to some certain events, we know that the humans ended up changing on the dragons and they ended up killing them all. And they said Acnologia was responsible for killing off most of the dragons during that time. So I definitely do think that there had to be something during the time span of after the Dragon War to make Acnologia want to go out and kill every single dragon. And maybe the dragons did take away his loved ones, because we found out that the dragons, they only look at humans for food, so it's not too far-fetched to think. And we also know that Acnologia, over time, he just ended up stopped caring about everything, because we even see the ribbon that he's given by Sonya, he ends up just demolishing it. He's like, yo, this ribbon's useless, I don't need it anymore. So I definitely do think that there was a time and point where Acnologia did have your feelings, and he wasn't just some demon dragon running around killing everybody. But I also don't think that Acnologia was ever the true king of dragons, simply because his strength, he kind of came in at a lucky moment. Like, he came in right when Igneal was leaving his prime, and there pretty much was no other dragon to stand up to him. But we do know that Acnologia, overall, he is one of the most important characters in the series, and I definitely do have to say that his past is still one of the biggest things that we have to see, because yo, if we don't get revealed to Acnologia's past by the time the Fairy Tail series is done, that will be one of the biggest crimes in anime and manga history. Because yo, this guy, he definitely is one of the greatest Fairy Tail characters. No, he's one of the greatest anime characters, period. And I definitely do think that we should see his full past be revealed to us. Comment what you guys think down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.